Welcome to Trafalgar Square, and we're here today because we are doing another one of the Queen's Jubilee walks. Now, if you remember, we've done a walk previously which was around the City of London, which is a 2-mile walk which took in quite a lot of the City of London and some great old history as well with the Roman War. And if you don't remember that one, I'll put a link to that up in the top right hand corner. Today we're doing another one of the 5 walks. This is the 5th of the 5 walks. In number, but it's our second one, which is going to take us around the royal palaces. That's the Palace of Westminster we'll eventually get to. We'll go around Buckingham Palace. We're going to go back around the back of the old Whitehall Palace as well, and also the back of the seat of government. So we're going to go around St James's Park. Now, the route is well and truly marked. It's got silver discs everywhere, and we're going to start and finish at Trafalgar Square, so it's a nice circle route. Getting to Trafalgar Square is really easy. You've got Charing Cross Station, which is right by you. You can also walk down from Leicester Square as well. So nice and easy place to get to, and we are going to start right in front of the National Gallery here at Trafalgar Square. So enjoy the walk with us. So we're at Trafalgar Square. You've got the Nelson's Column, you've got St Martin's in the field, and you've also got the National Gallery. And there's always something happening here. We're filming this in late April, and they're setting up the square for a St George's Day parade, which is happening in the next 24 hours. There you go. That gives you an idea of when we're filming this. So let's start the walk. The walk starts on the west side of Trafalgar Square, and is going to take us round, down and through Admiralty Arch, down the Mall, right down the Mall to Buckingham Palace. So we're going to get some great views of Buckingham Palace as we go. Also, it's then going to take us down a Birdcage Walk, and we're going to go down Birdcage Walk and then around the back 10 Downing Street and back here to Trafalgar Square. Actually, probably the worst lot of the walk is here at Trafalgar Square. It is all so busy. So we're going to look for the discs very shortly, which will confirm that we're on the Silver Jubilee Walk. So silver discs you're looking for in the ground. But let's cross this busy traffic junction at Trafalgar Square, and we're going to go through and down Spring Gardens. So as we take the walk and go over, and do be careful when you're crossing it over here by Trafalgar Square because it's extremely busy. We're going to walk down Cockspur Street, which basically takes you down towards Whitehall. Nelson's Column. And there you go, right, because you can go past Uganda House. Take us round to Admiralty Arch. Now, if you want to know more about that statue here, which you think, oh well, it's a man on a horse. Well, it is. It's a king on a horse, and it has its history, and that statue dates back to 1600s. So check out the video. I'll put in the top right hand corner for you. Nelson's Column. And Nelson's Column is 171 feet high, and Nelson himself is 18 foot long. He's 18 foot tall. Yeah, right. Last view of Trafalgar Square before we come back to it later. The walk itself is about 2 miles, so it's not that far. Yeah, can we get round? Because they're doing loads and loads of building work. No, I don't think we can. So normally the walk goes through those arches there. But what we're going to do, because we can't do that, is we're going to cross the road, and you can take a diversion route, which is well and truly marked, down this way. By the way, this Admiralty Arch belongs to the government building, and they had different offices in there. They also had some residential quarters in there for different government ministers as well. But what they're doing at the moment is they're knocking it into a hotel, and it's going to be the Admiralty Arch Waldorf Astoria when that's eventually done. So whilst the building works is going on. We're going to cut down here. So normally, if you're watching this and the building's all finished and they've got the hotel open, you can have a nosy at that. But you'll be going through the right arch of Admiralty Arch, which will take you onto the Mall. In the meantime, we're going to take this shortcut round and get back onto the Mall. Cross over and get on the other side of that and give you a fantastic view down the Mall to Buckingham Palace. So Admiralty Arch was built as a gateway from the Mall to Trafalgar Square, but it's a ceremonial gate which is used by royalty to get from Buckingham Palace to the city. And it was constructed in 1912. Now, oh, that's good. Nothing coming through. There you go. There's Admiralty Arch itself. So get right over. You've got galleries, and right down the far end, you've got Buckingham Palace. We're going to get better views as we go down and into that. So here you've got Mall galleries, so you can go in and have a look. There's painters seem to be in residence there at the moment. We will be walking back this route, so we'll take in a bit more later. It's a lovely wide area. Let's come walking down, and there we go. We've got some police horses. Past the diggers. It's just a general thing about London. Lots of construction going on. What we'll do is we'll walk back past Horse Guards Parade, which looks like it's getting set up at Horse Guards for Trooping of the Colour, because they've got all sorts of stands. Now, as we come here, we are at the base of the Duke of the Colour statue. If you know the children's nursery rhyme, the grand old Duke of York, that's who it is based on, the Duke of York. Now, interestingly enough, the soldiers had to, at the time, had to donate the money to produce the statue because no one else wanted to produce it. And you know, in the nursery rhyme, it says the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and then he marched them down again. Well, the reason why is the Duke of York was known as being indecisive. Very indecisive. So in the grand old Duke of York, where he marched the men up the hill and then down the hill again, it was because of his indecisiveness. That's why you've got the nursery rhyme. It gives you a view straight down the middle of the Mall. Please be careful if you're doing this. I'm actually in a traffic island, so do it where there's traffic island. Let's give you a view down to this. Swing around and you have Admiralty Arch. So this is St James's Park, and we're going to go through St James's Park a little bit later. But we're going to go down the Jubilee walkway. There we go. Evidence that we're in the Jubilee walkway. And we're going to walk down towards Buckingham Palace, all the way down the Mall, with St James's Park on the left-hand side. Now, the Mall was laid out as a route to take you from Buckingham Palace to Admiralty Arch. And you'll notice that the road is red. And the reason the road is red is it was laid out as a ceremonial red road for visiting dignitaries, royalty, etc. as a way to Buckingham Palace. So it's purposely red. And what they've done is mixed iron oxide in with the tarmac to give it its red colour. If you want to know more about the Mall, we've got loads of history about the Mall. If you go to your podcast provider, any podcast provider, and type in London Visited, you will see we've got episodes and episodes all about the history of London, and one of those is about the Mall. So your best bet is ping to a podcast provider, go to search London Visited, and you'll hear my dulcet tones telling you all about the history of London, but in particular there's one episode all about the Mall. So we're heading towards Buckingham Palace, and as we head towards Buckingham Palace, it's actually served as the official London residence of sovereigns since 1837. So coming up for 200 years. If you dial into one of our videos, which is about Marble Arch, the Marble Arch statue, or the Marble Arch ornament, stone arch that's there, was actually originally located here at Buckingham Palace, and they moved it to Marble Arch. Now, if you are coming down here and you're walking down here with the children, my suggestion would be also break it off quite a few times and go into St James's Park. This has got to be one of my favourite royal parks. It's the oldest royal park. Henry VIII had it made into a park from marshland, and it is without doubt one of my favourites. And the reason for that is you've got all sorts of wildlife in there, including herons, pelicans, which were originally given as a gift to the monarchy many, many years ago, and they've stayed, and also parakeets, very, very friendly parakeets. They're the little green birds, and they're here resident at St James's Park. So well worth doing. Go in there and have a look. And also, as you go down the walkway, which is great, they've also put these in as well, so it gives you a view of what you're looking at, and a lot of it you can't see because, as you can see, spring has sprung over here in London. The trees are in bloom, so you can't see the buildings behind it, but alternatively, if you could, you'd see the back of 10 Downing Street. You'd also be able to see the House of Parliament very, very clearly. You'd see all sorts of things. But that's a Jubilee walkway plaque, and there's a number of those that are around, showing not only the route but also what you can see as well, giving you information on what you can see. Also, the other lovely thing about St James's Park and the Royal Parks as well is you've got tea and coffee stations, refreshment stations. So if you're thinking, where am I going to get a drink, get some refreshments, etc., you can get them in the Royal Parks. So we are now coming up to, on our right, Marlborough Road, and behind the trees over there at Marlborough Road is St James's Palace. And St James's Palace is where royalty, and a lot of the royalty now live. That's the sort of lesser royalty, I'll say, which is when they come to London. It just gives you a view there. So like the Duke of York's children, etc., they tend to stay there behind those walls, and also over there as well because Clarence House, which is the London residence of Prince Charles and Camilla when they are in London. It's all very close by. It's all over there behind those walls. Other great thing about the Mall as well, and I've done this myself, it's the finishing spot for the London Marathon that takes part every year here, normally in April, although due to COVID times it's been moved around, and this year it's in October. And the finishing marker for the London Marathon is down the Mall here. So you finish running down here, and it's an amazing feeling with the crowd shouting out at you and supporting you. haven't done it recently. Well, I did it last year, but I didn't do it here at London. I did a virtual one, but I have done the London Marathon here. Cool, about coming up for 20 years ago. Also, the Mall is used a lot for different sporting events. So in the 2012 Summer Olympics and Paralympics, they used here, again for the finish of the marathon. They also used the Mall a lot for the triathlon. The cyclists came around here several times. I must admit, I saw the triathlon back in 2012 happening down here. And the wheelchair marathon started and finished here as well in the 2012 Paralympics. So it really is used a lot. And also they had a finish here of the world famous Tour de France when that came to London. I think it was about 2017, 2018, something like that. And they had the finishing stage, or they had the finish of the sort of the first or second stage here in London. It started in Cambridge, went all round Essex and the home counties before finishing here on the Mall. So it really is used quite extensively, but it's beautiful to come down. So we're looking at Buckingham Palace. Let's just swing round. So over here, so on the right side of the Mall, you've got Green Park, which is a beautiful park in itself. And here you have Parliament's House, which is part of the Palace of Westminster. Sorry, the St James's Palace. And all the way round, swing round. You have, right at the end, Admiralty Arch, which is right by Trafalgar Square. It's a little quick swing round. So you have St James's Park, which is lovely. Now the good news is, since the last time I came down here, I shot a video for spring 2022, came to St James's Park, picked up loads and loads of fantastic video of the blossom in St James's Park. It's a great place to come springtime. But it's great to see that the Royal Gardeners have been out, and have we got a treat for you, because they've been out and it looks like they've put all the tulips in front of Buckingham Palace. This is going to be something to feast your eyes on, especially in 4K. Oh yes! Look at that. That is beautiful. So we've got a whole range of flowers, but the tulips are certainly showing up. And that goes on to the other side as well. There in front of the gates, which leads up to Green Park. Lovely. So you're looking here, right in front of Buckingham Palace, and you've got the Queen Victoria Memorial, which has got a statue of Queen Victoria on the top facing up the Mall, which was completed in 1911. And as we go round, we've got another panel as well. So we've actually reached the end of the Mall already.
Yes, please.
Those flowers look amazing, don't they? Really lovely. And we are following around St James's Park, which is on my right. We've also got this plaque which was put here, and this panoramic panel was unveiled opposite the palace to mark the golden wedding anniversary of the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh, which is commemorated in November 1997. Part of the walkway, but it just shows you everything that you're looking at here. That's worth stopping and having a look at, and it's also in braille as well as typed as well. What a beautiful day to be in front of Buckingham Palace. So looking at Buckingham Palace, you can see there's a flag flying above it. And that flag is just the Union Jack. So if it's the Royal Standard, the Queen's at home. And if it's just a normal flag, she's not. Now, let's just give you a view here. So this is St James's Park, which we've walked around. And that gives you a view down the water. And if you're going to St James's Park, which you'll see in our previous video, down at St James's Park in Boston, that is the blue bridge that goes across the middle of the lake. And for views of Buckingham Palace one way, and the Palace of Whitehall the other, Horse Parade, etc. That's a fantastic place to be, to take videos, photos, etc. And sometimes the pelicans come sort of down that way as well. I'm in the middle. Let's swing around, continue on the Queen's Silver Jubilee walkway. You can't really get lost on this walk because basically you're following St James's Park around. Lovely. This is a grand panoramic view here. Buckingham Palace, Victoria Memorial. These flowers are just so colourful. Around, and there's the Mall. Now, interestingly, give it about 5 or 6 weeks, and this place, and this area is going to be heaving because it's the Queen's Jubilee, the Platinum Jubilee, where we have additional bank holidays, and here at Buckingham Palace will be one of the centres of attention and celebration. A 2-day public holiday. To see that happening very, very shortly here in London. The reason so many people around here is because you've got fantastic views again down St James's Park, and you can see right the way through to the Horse Guards Parade. Now, straight ahead of us, you've got the Wellington Barracks, which is where the guards are. They live their headquarters. And on a Sunday, come up here, see the changing of the guard. You can see them on the parade ground in front before going off and changing the guard. And if you want to capture the inside track on that, we've got a video for you. Put the link in the top right hand corner when we went behind the scenes at the Wellington Barracks and saw them practicing, and it was a phenomenal event. So that's the Wellington Barracks. Oh, here we go. As I said, different sports events. Oh, there we go. The London Vitality 10,000 metre run. Now, so we have turned, we've left Buckingham Palace. We've still got St James's Park on our left, and we're still on the Queen's Silver Jubilee walkway. But now we're heading straight up for Parliament Square. So we're on Birdcage Walk. And the reason it's called Birdcage Walk is because aviaries were kept down here, royal aviaries. So when the marshland was turned into a park, way back in the 1600s, the late 1600s, there were aviaries up here on the right hand side, and that's why it is called Birdcage Walk. A great walk to do this one. This is lovely. As I said, the actual distance isn't too bad. It's a couple of miles total distance to walk, and it's a great loop starting in Trafalgar Square, finishing in Trafalgar Square. If you don't fancy walking, you haven't got children with you, and you fancy just doing this, then you could always grab one of the bikes. Grab one of the London Santander bikes. They're all stationed around, and you can get more just off Trafalgar Square, and you could cycle it. Wouldn't take you long, but actually you also get to see the sights as well. So another thing worth bearing in mind. Now, if you're doing it on a lovely summer's day, then bring a picnic. Also at Trafalgar Square you've got a Tesco Express, No, not sponsored by Tesco's or anything else like that, but there is a Tesco Express, so you can grab some food, some snacks, some picnic stuff, and then come and sit in the park, because it is really well worth it. So, where are we? We're 12:30 on a Friday, so I'm guessing a lot of the people you can see running and exercising have got lanyards around, probably work for Her Majesty's government, because as we go up a Birdcage Walk, we're now getting close to the top, which is behind Whitehall. So we're going to walk to Parliament Square, give you a view of Parliament Square. We'll also see Big Ben, which is great because the scaffolding is now gone, although the scaffolding is still around the Palace of Westminster, which is the House of Commons and House of Lords. They're still doing that up, but also we should get some great shots as well across Westminster Abbey, which we've been to, which is an amazing place to visit if you get the chance if you come to London. Let's give you a view of St James's Park and the beautiful flowers that are out. So whilst pretty extensively the walk at the moment takes you around the outskirts of St James's Park, when we do go down towards Horse Guards Parade, it does take you into the park slightly and around the lake. So you never know if we're going to see some of the pelicans. And this is lovely because all the leaves are out. And it's a lovely canopy hanging over the walk here at Birdcage Walk. Also, if you're thinking of cycling and you're not sure about the safety, don't be too concerned. What they've done in London, if you just look at the road here, you'll see you've got cars over on the right hand side. They've got a single lane of traffic going there, and then you've got a very wide area for cycles only, as you can see. So if you're thinking about safety, actually, they've got it pretty much sussed out. Very cycle friendly here in the heart of London. So once again, this is the fifth part of the Queen's Silver Jubilee Walk. Now the whole Jubilee Walk itself is split into 5 sections. Alternatively, you can do the whole thing. If you want to do the whole thing, I think it's about 15 miles long. And then I've looked at one of the sections, which is a 6-mile walk, which we will do. But wow, that takes in a lot of London. And I thought I need my walking legs on for that one, so we'll be doing that. But they all sort of link together to make this massive Jubilee Walk. So the walk was originally opened in 1977 for the Queen's Silver Jubilee, and then they reopened it for the Queen's Golden Jubilee 25 years later. Just swing around, give you a view of St James's. Still got some blossom hanging from the tree, which we caught in the previous video. Still got some daffs as well. Okay, and dead ahead, with the wrong time on it, is the St Elizabeth Tower, which houses the bell of Big Ben, looking magnificent. Now it has been completely refurbished and the scaffolding is down. But the walk takes you to Parliament Square, where there's another Silver Jubilee walkway board.
Park is one of my favourite parks.
So down here is Horse Guards Parade, which we're going to come back down to. Once again, if you're coming down here and looking around, great, but just be careful of the traffic. Zooms around from all different directions. Okay, this is where it gets busier pedestrianised wise. can see. Parliament Square. Past the silver disc. Well and truly laid out. You can't really go wrong on these routes. But you can also download PDFs from the TfL site, which also gives you a bit by bit guide. Great for photo opportunity. Lots of great telephone boxes. In front of you, you'll be able to see sort of things standing up here, which is one of the waypoints for the walk that we're doing, Silver Jubilee Walkway. So it's one of the beacons, and it tells you which part of the walk you're on, which one you're doing. There's a plaque here. It's got a couple of the routes on there. But let's go forward into Parliament Square a bit further and pick up what's going on in Parliament Square. As you can hear a lot of noise. I'm guessing Parliament being Parliament and Parliament Square. These protesters. Here we go. Fantastic. So you've got the scene of Parliament Square. So if you want to know what you're looking at Parliament Square, you've got the whole board here as part of the walkway to show you. Let's swing around. People love their photo opportunities. Actually, they're queuing to have their photo taken with Big Ben in the background of the telephone box. That's the Victoria Tower, which is the large tower with the flag at the back. Over at the end, and then you've got the church. Behind that is Westminster Abbey. And then in the centre, you've got all of the statues, including Winston Churchill's statue, you've got Nelson Mandela's statue, all situated here at Parliament Square. But if you want more of that, we've got an exclusive video on Parliament Square and what you can see here at Parliament Square. As you see, the scaffolding is gone. They still haven't quite got the time right on that block. They have on two of the faces, and on two they still haven't quite got it sorted yet. Won't be long, we'll have that sorted. That's Parliament Street, which then very quickly leads into Whitehall. So that's Whitehall down there. That's Westminster Station, just to give you an idea where we are map-wise if you want to come up here. As you can see, as expected, very busy. Okay, now we're going to head back to St James's Park. And we haven't gone off route, this is all part of the route. So now we're going to get back to St James's.
They just echoed around home.
Right, now heading back. Let's get back into the more tranquil park. As you can see, great place. Loads of people getting their photo ops. I must admit, if you're going to do this as a 15-mile walk, you're going to have to start very early in the morning. Also, pick your weather wisely as well. Right, Silver Jubilee disc. the greenery of St James's Park reapproaches. I think one of the things just to be very aware of in London is nothing is too much distant from anything else. So whatever you do before you jump on transport, etc., just check out on Google Maps how far it is, because often it's quicker to walk at street level than it is to find a tube station, jump on a tube, come out the other end and then walk back, which is also very easy to do, not just in London but any sort of capital city where you've got a metro.
No, it's not magic shit, they're trying to pick the balls, get the money out of it.
Right. St James's and Horse Guards. So we're going to go back over the road here, Horse Guards. And follow Horse Guards down. These buildings on the right, that is the back of the Treasury offices. So that's where all the money is calculated here in the UK, taxes, etc. That's the back of the Treasury Department. I think that's the Foreign Office over there on the right hand side. Now one of the places I haven't been to yet, and I must admit I do want to go to, and we'll go and film at some point, is over there, which is the Churchill War Rooms, which is meant to be fantastic because it takes you down and underneath. So we will visit that at some point. Over there in the distance, if you're thinking, what's all that in orange? That's Horse Guards Parade. But it's also got seating, which is temporarily set up. And the reason for that is, must be trooping of the colour happening and practising. Now, the walkway takes us through. So we meet the Jubilee Way. We also meet the Princess Diana Walkway as well, here at St James's Park. And it takes us around the northern part of the lake. Now quite often you see those rocks there in the middle of the lake by the fountain. You'll see pelicans. Not today, they decided not to. I wonder if they're on the walkway. Might have to investigate that, come off piste a little bit and have a look. Here, definitely worth having a look at. This is brilliant. You can come in here and have a look. You've got the house, which is at the top of the lake here. That's the view down to Buckingham Palace. And this is the Swiss Chalet, which is where the bird keepers used to live. But when you cross over and you go through the other side, you're on something which is known as Duck Island. Believe it or not, when the park was originally created, as I said, Henry VIII back in the 1600s, they actually had a governor. It's called the Governor of Duck Island. So Duck Island is there. If you're a regular viewer of our channel, you'll know I asked the question fairly recently for our Sunday competition, where is Duck Island? A number of people got that right very, very quickly. But yeah, it's basically over there. That is Duck Island. Here, at St James's Park. I'll just give you a swing around now. Over there, above that wall, lots of parties have happened. That's the back of 10 Downing Street and 11 Downing Street. So that's the back gardens of the Prime Minister and the Chancellor of the Exchequer. That's their back gardens. And that's why you've got a gate going across there, so you can't get into Downing Street from that side. Most people look at Downing Street and get to Downing Street from the other side, which is from Whitehall. But over that far end wall under the tree there, so we'll zoom in a bit on that. That is the back garden of the Prime Minister and the Chancellor of the Exchequer. That being Downing Street, in front of that white building and behind that brick building. That is the Palace of Whitehall. And Horse Guards. Oh, there's some pelicans around today. Not sure where they are. Now if you want to know more about Horse Guards Parade and the Palace of Westminster, got a video for that, so please do have a look. Find out so much more.
Yeah, they're financially implicated as well, aren't they?
Lovely view down the lake there.
It's crazy.
With the
Like
fountain.
you're going from one
Look at
house to
these.
another, like your family and
The royal gardeners have been out.
salad. It's great. Fun.
Now, St James's Park, as I've said before, plenty of places for refreshments. In fact, there's a big cafeteria, stroke restaurant, if you're in this part of it, which is literally no more than about 100 metres walk. Plus there's toilet facilities, etc, etc. So if you're doing the walk, everything's been well and truly thought of. Flowers are lovely. So we are on the Queen's Silver Jubilee Walk. We've stuck to the route, which is great, and this part of the walk then brings us by the steps, near from where we started actually, at the Duke of York statue. You know, the Grand Old Duke of York, 10,000 men, etc, etc. Yeah, get back to that one. So it brings us on a big loop there. How long has it taken us? It's taken probably about 45 minutes. Done at a gentle pace, although there's a few people out and about which made it a bit slower. Now just to show you over here, we've covered that in a previous video. That ivy covered building is a war bunker built to protect the civil servants, etc. during the World War. I think it's called the Cadiz War Bunker, but they put ivy around it because it's an ugly looking thing, but it was there for a purpose, so they put the ivy around it. We covered that in a previous video. And now we're back towards Admiralty Arch, which when it reopened will be fantastic. Now what's going to be interesting to see is at Admiralty Arch there is a nose that's been stuck there, which is actually listed. So let's hear me out. I'm not going funny. You know, Steve's not having a funny turn, and he hasn't been down the pub before doing this walk. But in the 1991, someone got very offended at the fact that so much CCTV was going up, so he stuck a whole load of noses, casts of his nose, around London and around Soho. And there's only 7 of them now exist, and one of them was stuck to Admiralty Arch. Now they're doing the work there, but it'd be interesting to see if it remains. So we'll see, and that's on the left-hand edge as we walk that way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a shortcut, because at the moment everyone's being diverted that way. So let's go over, good view of Admiralty Arch, and then you've got the view right down to Buckingham Palace. As we go over, let's nip through here, which will take us back onto Trafalgar Square. I must admit, Admiralty Arch being used as a hotel, but it's going to be good. But you have to book well in advance if you want to go down there. Waldorf Astoria. Oh, well, that's something you don't see every day. So I'm going for a tennis practice at lunchtime. So just don't nick the windows. Right. Let's cut through. Oh, got a photo shoot happening. See, gotta love London. It just happens. You walk across all sorts of things. Photo shoots. I think a better place to have a photo shoot actually. It's a grubby old building. Trafalgar Square, and we are back. Once again, be careful of the traffic. Don't do as I do. And also, if you want to see the walkway plaque here at Trafalgar Square, it's outside Canada House. That's the National Gallery over there. Here is the plaque relating to the start and the finish of the 5th part of the Queen's Silver Jubilee walkway, which we've just done, which takes you right round St James's Park. I'm back again. A lovely walk, which actually you can probably spend the whole day doing, stopping in the park, having refreshments, etc., having a play, go see the birds, and taking it easy. So, I hope you've enjoyed the walk. Brilliant, what a lovely day to do it. Fantastic weather. St James's Park is definitely one of my favourite royal parks, so if you get a chance, definitely do this walk. It's the Queen's Silver Jubilee walkway. It's the 5th of the 5 walks if you're looking for it on the TfL maps, so you can download a PDF. It gives you information about it, gives you the route as well. Starts and finishes here at Trafalgar Square, and there's Nelson there, which is great. And if you want to see some more great walks, I would recommend one that I did, which went from Westminster Bridge all the way to Tower Bridge, and I'm going to put a link for that up there, so you can watch that video, and also beforehand I put various links to other videos, and also a playlist of some of our great walks as well, because I know how much you love London, and how much you'd like to see what's happening as a sort of a walk around London with me. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you soon on the next video. Bye!